Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel again. In this video, we're gonna create a simple application to-do list. In this application, we have a list of work what we have to do, and you can add this work dynamically, or you can remove the work as if you have completed particular work, then you can simply remove it from the list. So let's talk about how can we approach this. So first of all, I'm gonna approach the UI structure. So first of all, we have a screen which holds two buttons. One button at the top of the screen and second button just to the bottom of the screen. So there is two buttons. First of all, check work item that will simply populate the list of work, and second one is add work item. So when we click on the check work item, it simply shows us the list of work which we have created, and also every item should have a remove button so that you can remove the specific item from the list which you have completed. Another one, when you click on the add work item, then simply a pop-up box open on your screen which hold a text input. When you type something inside it, and you can just simply save this and it will add the element in your list. Also, it will hold another button called cancel. Like when you click on the add work item, and the pop-up box will appear, and then you realize you do not need to add any work item inside the list. So you can just simply press on cancel button, and it will move to your back screen, or it can simply close the pop-up box. So let's speak about how can we approach this for code structure. So for this, I'm gonna create a to-do list folder. This is a very small application, so I can write every file inside a single folder. So I will create only one folder called to-do list. Inside it, I'm gonna create a index file which represents the home directory of that folder. Also, I have two files in this folder as well. One for work item list that show all of item in our list, and second one for add work item. Like when you're gonna add work dynamically, as we see in the previous screen, when we click on add work item, a simple pop-up box appear which help us to add item dynamically. So both of these file will be stateless component. I mean to say, like I'm not gonna create any state inside it. Both of these will be the functional component, and the index file will be stateful component. Like both of work item list and add work items should have function or any other another property. We just simply pass props from there and just simply import inside the index file, where we manage all of state of this small application and all of function which we have performed. So without waste any time, let's move to our coding part. I had created a fresh project. So there I had removed everything from our app.js file. Now I'm going to create a folder to-do list. Inside it, I'm going to create a index.js file, which will be home directory for this folder. Let's create a class component here. Also change the name of class for to-do list. Remove everything from return method as well. Also, I need to import something from React Native. So let's import something from React Native. And I'm gonna import text view, and inside the return method I'm gonna create a view. Also, I'm gonna give it some style. I'm giving it flex of 1, also background color of black. It will hold the height and width of the whole screen with background color black. I'm gonna create another file for work item.js. This will be a functional component. So create const work item. and I'm going to create an arrow function that will hold props. Also export it by default, export default work item. As it's going to return JSX, so I have to import React as well. Also, I'm going to import something from React Native, like view, text, also style sheet. From React Native, I think style sheet it is as should be in capital. Let me see in hint. Yeah, that's fine. Also, I need touchable opacity. Here I'm going to create a style sheet as well. So const styles is equal to style sheet dot create. As we are gonna import some style, so we will use reference of styles. Inside it, I'm gonna return a view, give it some style, style equal to style dot styles dot container. I'll implement later style in this video. Inside it, I'm going to create a text that will hold the title of our work item, like I have to do something. So for this, I'm just prefix it I have to, and our title will bind with the props. So props dot work item. Also, I'm gonna use touchable opacity. Inside it, I'm gonna text will be removed. Like whenever we click on a particular item, it will remove the item from list. And for style of text, I'm giving it styles.work item. Similarly, in touchable opacity, I'm giving style of container. And for text, I'm giving style of work item. Now inside style sheet, I had pasted my styles code. So you can just pause the video and write every code, or you will find the link in the description of my GitHub repository where you can find the source code as well. So inside the index file, I'm gonna import work item from our work item.js file, which we had created recently. Now inside the return method, just wrap it inside the parentheses, and inside the view, I'm just calling the work item component. Now save all of these. Also in app.js file, I have to import our to-do list. So here I'm gonna give the path of to-do list folder. It will import index file by default as the home directory, and it will return to-do list. Save all of these, and let's run the program and see the output. So use React Native, run Android. Press enter. Make sure you are in the same folder of your project in which you have node modules. So just move in that folder and run command again. So there you can see the output. It is showing me a box, or you can see card, which has a work item, also have remove button. Here I'm gonna import a button that will be fixed on the top of the screen. Like whenever we click on the button, it will show the list of all of work item. Also, when we click again on this button, it will hide the work item as well. So for button, I'm giving a title like check work item, work items. Also, I'm giving it on press property. For this, I'm giving reference of this dot toggle work items. That will be show and hide the list of work items. So for this, I'm gonna create a arrow function. So for this, I have to use state as well. So like in state, so work item by default it will be false. Like When we first run the program, we are not able to see our work items. When you click on the button, it will show your list of work item. So for this, in this I had set the state. So show work items is opposite to the state of this dot state of show work item. Like this is false right now, and when we click on the button, it just set the state false to true and true to false. This should be better visibility right now. I just increase size of screen. Inside return method, render method, I'm sorry, I had create a variable let work items is equal to null. Like when this state is false, it will just simply return the null, and when this state is true, it will return the list of all work items. So in condition, if this dot state dot work item, whenever it state is true, it will execute. And inside it, I'm gonna use work items variable which I had created is equal to, and inside it I'm gonna passing our component work item. So there I have to use work items as an object. Inside state also I'm gonna create a list of work items. Like initially I'm gonna create only three work items. That should be enough. So work item key and value will be like I have two is prefix, and then after write some code. Also I'm going to give it ID, and by default I'm using some dummy ID like UUID12, and if you're working with database you can just create a unique ID for every element. So change UUID 123 and 124, and for our second work item just change the title. I have to debug code, like whenever you write the code you have to debug it like a nobody is perfect. Also, after complete all of the process, I have to check the final output. So just check final output. Now in the list, I have three work items with different or unique ID. So inside this, I had to map all of these list. So this dot state dot map. Map is an higher order function that will hold a function as an argument. So inside map, just create an arrow function, and you can see here the hint is showing when you hover on this. So inside it I'm gonna just return the work items. Also in the argument I'm just passing to-do list and index as well. So just cut from here and paste here and use work item as in return. So from work item.js, you can see here I'm passing the props.work item. So use this property here, like work item is equal to-do list, which holding list of all of our state dot work item. So by using this, it will just give me the value of each work item. Also, I had used the toggle work item. So there you can see the output. When you click on check work item, it just show me list of all element, but remove is not working till now because I haven't performed any action using remove button. Let's provide it some key as well. Let's provide a unique key for every element. Here I have to use to-do list dot ID. I had passed some dummy ID. So now move to workitem.js file. Here for remove button, I'm just giving the onPress props.remove. I have to use this property in our index.js. So it just simply remove item from the list. So inside it, just use this property remove item, and for this I'm giving reference of a function this dot remove item. That's fine. Now create the function remove item. I'm just gonna create an arrow function. Inside it, it will hold the index as well, like which tell us which item we have to remove from the list. So as we are using index from our map function, so inside the argument I'm going to pass the index function. Also I'm going to create an arrow function as well here. So just pass the index in remove item function. Here I'm going to use work item index, or this should be work item index. I had spelled it wrong. So I'm going to create a variable const to do list. It will hold all of element of list of work items. So it will be this dot state dot to do list dot slice that will copy the all of list inside the to do list, and after that to do list dot splice, and inside it I'm gonna pass just the index and the number of item I have to remove. So for this I had passed 1. So now I'm gonna use this dot set state to do list. Inside it I'm going to assign the value of to-do list. So save all of this, run the program, reload the screen, just toggle the list, and whenever you click on item it will remove everything from the list. Oops, I had I had spelled right of slice and splice method. Slice just gonna copy all of item, and splice I'm using for remove one item according to index. Reload the screen again. Let's see. Here you can see it is removing item one by one. So that's fine. There will be some spell mistake. Next thing, I'm going to use touchable opacity. Like I have to use a button at the bottom of screen uh, for add work items. Like whenever you're gonna uh, press on that particular button, it will show you a pop-up box where you can add your work items dynamically. Also, I'm going to use scroll view. Like if you have a number of elements in your list, so you have to scroll down your screen. So just wrap work items inside scroll view. Then after I'm going to use touchable opacity. Inside it I'm going to use a text which called add work item, or you can simply write add item. That help us to add items in our list. For this I'm going to use style. It's equal to style dot bottom view, and on press this dot what name I have to give it. You can give it an stable name that like add items, or toggle work item I have. And for add item I'm going to use style is equal to styles dot, this should be styles dot text style, and here I have to import style sheet as well. You can use simply inline style as well, or you can create separate style sheet. For this, const styles is equal to style sheet dot create. Inside it I have to use reference, so I had just pasted my style sheet code. You can just pause video and copy all of this style. Also I'm going to create a state as well, like add work item. By default it will be pop-up box will not visible to us. So I'm using the function toggle work item. This should be an arrow function, and inside it I'm gonna set the state just false to true. Simple. That will help us to uh, see the pop-up box. This should be add items. It should be add work item is true. There I'm gonna change the function name as I had already used the same name function. So toggle add work item. Toggle work items should be for list of element, and toggle add work item whenever we gonna add element to the list. For this I'm gonna create a separate file for add work item.js. This should be a functional component as well. So I'm gonna import React from React that help us to return JSX. I'm gonna create a arrow function. Add work item is equal to an arrow function, and inside it I'm gonna pass some probes. Also export it default. So export default add work item. Now import text view and touchable opacity that will help us to perform action for cancel and save the work item from React Native. Also, I'm going to use dimension as well and text input. Using this, we can input any value at runtime. Also, style sheet for this component. So here I'm going to use const style sheet equal to style sheet.create. Leave it right now and move to our add work item. There I have created a view. This will hold some styles. Styles.container will implement style later. Inside the view, I'm going to create another view. Just remove this update. Yeah, styles is equal to. There is some syntax error. This should be style is equal to styles dot pop-up box. Also inside it, I'm going to use another view. Style equal to styles dot pop-up box item. That's fine. Inside the pop-up box item, I'm going to use a text which hold add work item. With this, I have to use text input where you can input your text dynamically. Also, I had used some style for styles.action. Also, text input style is equal to styles.input. And underline Android color is equal to black, should be better as we are using orange background. So on change, there I'm gonna using the props dot insert work item. As we're gonna handle every state and function here in our index.js file. So in the functional component, I had just used props. Also, I'm gonna paste my styles here. You can just before this, I had forgot one thing to add action. For this, I'm gonna create another view which holds touchable opacity, whether you're gonna cancel your save work item or whether you're gonna save work item. So you can perform both of them dynamically. For this, I'm gonna give you some style as well. I'm giving its reference of styles.action box, and on press props.cancel as we use all of state and function in our index.js file. This style should be for our view, as we had wrapped all of this inside our view. We'll copy this and paste it here and change the props to save. This will help us to perform save action. Also give some style to your text as well, style store to action. Similarly, give the same style to our save button as well. So there I'm gonna paste my style sheet. You can just pause the video and copy all of this style, or you will find the repository link on GitHub in the description, where you can find all of the source code as well. Now move to our index.js file. Here I need to import add work item from our work items. Now I have to use another state as well, like item to be insert. Like when the text value changes, it will just assign its value to the item to be insert, and whenever we stop editing and when we click on this save button, it's just increase this in our list, this particular item. So there I'm going to create another variable like let add work item is equal to null. By default we are not going to add any work item to our list, but it will be a conditional base. Like if this dot state dot add work item, this should be true, then this will be executed, or if low. So add work item is equal to, simply I'm going to pass the component which I had created, add work item here. Inside it use its props as well. So for cancel, which help us to cancel this save, I'm going to use the function this dot cancel. Also for save, that help us to save the work item to the list, I'm using this dot add item. Now for another props, like for text input, insert work item, this is main, from which we will get the value, the item. So insert work item is equal to this dot add new item, as we're gonna add new item in our list. As my naming convention is not so good, so you can give name according to you, to all of state and function, or if you like my naming convention, you can just write as like me as well. So for cancelled, I had created an arrow function, and just here I have to just opposite the state. I had just uh, I'm not gonna show our pop-up box when we can on cancel the button. It just remove here. Also do same thing in toggle work item as well. It will just opposite the state of add work item. Like whenever it's true, then it's when we click on it, it'll become false, and if it false, when we click on it, it will become true. So for add item, I'm going to use event, as we gonna choose a particular value of a particular item. So for the set state item to be insert, here I'm going to use event dot native text, native event. This should be native event dot text. And just use add item when we're gonna click on save button. So as we had already set this state item to be insert to the native event or text, this will hold the input box value. So I'm going to use here new item. Here I'm going to use a new ID, which is dummy ID, and main query is related to work item. For right now, I'm going to just pass some dummy, like take some break. After complete all of this, I have to take some break. Close it, and this dot set state, what I'm gonna do here, I have to add the new item in our list of state. So to-do list, here I'm going to use spread operator, this dot state dot to-do list, and by separated comma I have to use new item. By using this, I'll able to add new item in the existing list. Also add work item, just make opposite state of it. That will help us to close pop-up box, reload the program, and let's see. It's add work item. It's not using its style. Remove is working fine. I had made something wrong. Let's see. Oh, there should be styles. Auto correction made some mistake many times. There you can see style is working there at work item, but we are not able to see our pop-up box. There should be any mistake, another mistake as well. I had not use add work item inside the return method. Let's see what will happen right now. Oh, so it is giving some error. Nothing was returned from render. So inside add work item, I just forgot to remove return, use return. So just wrap everything inside return, copy all of these, and paste inside the return. That's fine. Reload program, and there you can able to see when you click add work item, a pop-up box open. When you click on cancel, it will just hide the pop-up box. Also for add work item, just pass the value of state which we had bind with our input value. So this dot state dot item to be insert, remove this extra this state dot item to be insert, that hold the value of our input box. Now let's see the output. When you click on add item, it will show a pop-up box, and just write some input, take break, and save this. There you can see an new item is inserted in the list, and when you click on remove, it's just simply remove it. So hopefully I have done all of this. So like and share the video, and if you are new to my channel, then subscribe my channel.